Hey everybody, this is Mickey G. In this edition, we talk about everything from health adventures to population control to political adventures. Well, we hope you enjoy this edition of Old Fools Talking Old School.
I just even looked at myself, man. I got lackadaisical. I got in one of those little spells that you get into with my sleep apnea machine. I got to the point where I use a wipe and wipe off the nasal thing and put it in my soul clean, and that'd be it. And man, it made me think of it when you said you wake up, man, my head be clogged up. Seems like I couldn't blow my nose more enough to get unclogged. And then if I ate something spicy, then my nose would run, I guess, getting that out of there. I was like, damn, what is going on? So finally I got my ass up. And 'cause what it is, I ordered the little filters that go in the Soul Clean and the one that goes from the reservoir to the Soul Clean.
Right.
I ordered new ones. So since I was messing around with it, I took the reservoir in there and poured the water out and started wiping it off. I saw a little mole in there. I was like, how did that get in there? So I went in there and did a thorough cleaning of it, man. And I cleaned out the Soul Clean, with a little wipe there. I did all kind of stuff and got it all cleaned up, put it back in there. Man, I'm sleeping better. And I don't wake up with all that mucus in my nose and then having my mouth is dry and having to spit up that stuff all day, early in the morning.
Right.
So
right.
that helped that. But now it's the sleep part. Man, I can get up here, watch television, get bored with that. I get on my phone. That's the worst part right there. I get on my phone and I get falling down that trap and looking at stuff. And next thing I know, it's 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock. Well, then I said, put this damn thing down and go to sleep. So now I'm laying there because I want to go to sleep. I can't go to sleep.
Right.
And so then I'm laying there. I don't know when I fall off to sleep, but I think about 3 days this week, I got up at 12 o'clock. I ain't slept at 12 o'clock and I don't know when. So I was like, damn, I got on Rosin. I said, don't you know how to check on me? I might be. Yeah, I feel you was all right. I know you figured. I said, but hell, I could be up there not breathing or something, So I made it a point last night. I was like, I ain't sleeping at no 12 o'clock today because I made a conscious effort. I put that damn phone down. It was still about 1:30.
Right.
But I put that phone down and then finally I just cut the television off. I said, okay. And I still tossed and turned. I don't know what time I went to sleep, but I had set my alarm on my phone. It's like I ain't sleeping past 9 o'clock, But I woke up and it was 7:50. I was like, okay. All right, we're kind of back on schedule now, for the day. Telling what tonight might bring.
Right.
But I'm like, man, this is all erratic and new.
Yeah, that's the way it is with me. I guess with me, I'm always a victim of habit anyway. I get in to my routines, and when something messes up my routine, I guess it even bothers me even more when that happens. And like I say, with the sleeping thing and all that, and it just puts me off, And of course, man, the girls get me on this with that. Even though you've been feeling bad, you won't slow down. You always got to start. I said, well, I got so much going on. And I know it's my fault. I said, it's not anything that anybody makes me do. But I said, I just feel an obligation. Like we got that, the big, Black History Month program we put on this Saturday. And I said, I just feel like if I'm not doing something, I'm wasting time, so I'm always my thing is in front of this computer screen during the day. I mean, I have to sometimes make myself get up and go, walk around or do something. Because I just sit right in front of it. And I know that ain't good for my eyes because it seemed like.
Oh, I was getting ready. That's another.
Yeah. I know it ain't good for my eyes, and it seemed like, matter of fact, I called my optometrist yesterday and said, "These glasses ain't clearing things." I said, at one point, it seemed like I could see up close without them pretty good. I said, but now
Right.
when I got them on, I said, it ain't making things clear. And I said, I want to get another exam. I said, I know it's the first part of the year, but I got to get another exam. And she told me, and I don't know, I normally go in for my eye exam later in the year, and
Mhm.
uh, I think it may be a matter of all this time they had been treating me since I got diabetes under my Medicare, uh,
Mhm.
medical part of my Medicare, which I thought all this time they were seeing me as a private insurance under Aetna because that's what Mary's got. I got to have insurance for her. And
Mhm.
she was saying, "Well, yeah, we can get you in. We can get you in." She told me it's going to be, I think, $130 something dollars. I said, "No, I normally only pay like $35 for my deductible for Aetna." Well, since you're diabetic, I said, "I've been diabetic ever since I've been coming to see y'all. This
Mhm.
didn't happen yesterday. Why is this change?" Well, we have to see you under the Medicare medical part, and you haven't met your deductible there yet. And I'm like, well, I can't say that I went so late in the year normally that I had met the deductible. That's what but I can almost damn well guarantee I've been paying that deductible for Aetna, not for Medicare.
Mhm.
So I said, okay, no problem. So I told her, I said, let me see what I can do. So I called the VA. I said, I need to get a eye exam. And, you know, so much of their treatment, at least around here, is out on the community now. You don't even go into
Right.
the VA.
Right.
So she said, yeah, we can get you out back in the community. I'll see what I can get you in. She says, any place preference that you go? I said, well, I've been going to Lens Crafter. Before that, I was going to, I think it was America's Best. I've gone to uh, that other one. I said, it don't matter. I said, I just want to get an eye exam to see if my eyes are getting worse, if there's something causing it to get worse before it gets out. I said, because there's times I literally will be looking at something and I can't make it out. I take my
Yeah.
glasses off. I can't make it out. I put them
Yep.
back on. I can't make it. I wipe my glasses off to make sure I ain't got them smudged up. I said,
Mhm.
no. And now I get to the point now I go grab a magnifying glass
Mhm.
and look
Hey,
with a magnifying glass to try to make
I
stuff
got
out.
one in the drawer sitting next to me.
I'm like, goodness. So yeah, and all during life, people tell you about, getting
Just
getting
just
old ain't a lot of fun. You laugh at them like, oh, you don't know,
yeah.
you don't know. I'm starting to
You
believe that same thing, man.
yes, sir.
Getting
Or
old ain't fun.
they tell you, "Just keep living." And I'm like, "Boy, this thing," because mine is getting it's almost like I'm almost getting a little slight sensitivity to light. Now, I used to couldn't it's funny how you be with somebody for so long. When I first married Rosa, she had to have every damn light on in the room if we were watching television. I'm like,
Mhm.
"Damn, got all these lights on," you know? And I kept it dark, I have a lamp, it'd be cool, Now, man, uh, uh, I got the lights on because hell, I can't see, but they bright as hell, man. It's all, especially my right eye seems like it's just more sensitive than the other one is.
Right.
And I see my ophthalmologist keep telling me, I like, hey man, I'm seeing these little speckles. I'll be sitting up there and it seems like I see something out the corner of my eye. Ain't nothing over there. Just them little floaters
Yep.
messing with me. And but yeah, man, I'm the same way because I used to could see uh my far sight. I used to could see, take my glasses off and look just like when I drive. I hardly ever wear my glasses when I drive. Because
Right.
I can see. I can see all of it. Now I need my glasses for every one of them, far and near. And then sometimes when I'm up here, especially at night and I had the lights out and I got that phone on, I can't see jack.
Hmm.
I mean, I had to put it out in front of me to try to get that far sight going in. It can't see nothing, man. I'm like, damn. So, and when I get up in the morning, it takes a while to adjust. I got a clock over there with the time on it. It'd be another 30, 45 minutes before I can even read the damn thing.
Oh,
So I'm like, man, oh man. So hey, still living and breathing, so I can't complain. So
well, that same thing I say too. It could always be worse, and like at least we're
man,
still here.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just got a text this morning from a dude that I know. He's one of the first brothers when they integrated high school to be a star over there. He died. Like,
Oh,
damn,
really?
Prentice wasn't no more than, he might have been about 73 now,
Right.
74, but hey, in our state right now, that ain't old. I was like, who was that? There's somebody I was reading about the other day. They were 78 years old and they passed away. And I'm like, damn, that's just 10 years away.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, of course, you always see the ones that pass, and you look at them, and they even younger than you are,
Yeah.
and you
Oh,
thinking, "Well,
man.
damn," you know? So, yeah, and, uh, you think, you think you're doing things right in life, as far as living and stuff. But and as we've always said, there ain't no guarantee just because you
Yeah.
drink water all day and eat vegetables all day that you're gonna live to be 130. Those
That's
people
right.
die too.
Yes,
But
indeed.
it just like I say, I guess it's just more of a as you see some of the conditions uh, that your parents or grandparents or friends had. You're like, well, yeah, I remember when so and so had that, or that kind of stuff, and now I'm dealing with it. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, as I say, I guess that's just part of the getting old process. You know, I just things like I'm dealing with is just something that I most people I don't think get, and you make you
Right.
just wonder, well, why me, or what did I do wrong, or what did I do? Was I doing it could have caused it? And that's frustrating too when the doctors look and say, well, don't know, we can't say this happened and that's what caused it, and and so I said, that's just part of it. I said, you fall and break your leg, you know what caused your broken leg. When
Right.
you don't have that kind of clarity with medical stuff and all, and you're asking questions, and I'm like you too. I go out there and do all my kind of research, and then you gotta filter the bull out of what's really really true. And
Yeah.
I always try to go to like MayoClinic.com, those kind of places, which have a little bit more trust in than some of these others, because I'm like you, I get those pop-up emails and things all the time about, especially this ringing in your ear. Greatest thing for
Oh,
ringing in
yeah.
your ear. And I'm like, well, I
Tinnitus.
ain't got no ringing in my ear right now. But hey,
Exactly.
greatest thing ever. I say the same to myself. If this was the greatest thing ever, you wouldn't be out here with pop-up ads on emails and things like that. You'd be some
That's
nationally known
that's right.
doctor or
And
whatever.
that's what I say about this other stuff too. They got these long ass things they want you to watch and all that. And now my thing is, okay, so how much you want to pay? It's supposed to be so great.
Yeah.
If it was so great, I would have heard of it before instead of on Facebook or in an email.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's
Mm-hmm.
so great, now all of a sudden here, but and then everybody got the same spiel. Boy, this is a copycat nation. These things are coming from the Himalayas. They're specifically mined for this medication and blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. And they they have a limited supply. So if it's in stock, you need to go ahead and buy it for $29.99. You need to go ahead and get this. And I'm like, okay, you sound like Reverend Ike or somebody, with this shit,
Yeah.
And the
Because you
pharmaceutical companies this may
don't
not
want you
be
to
up
know
for
about it.
long. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause that's the same thing I say. I said, "If it's that great, yeah, you'd be charging $2,999 for it, not no 29." And what really gets me is when they say 29.99, but there's a special deal. We'll send you another bottle for $5. Like, if it's that great, you gonna give me this kind of price, and you gonna trip in another bottle for just $5.
Yep. Yep. Boy, I was like, boy, this is like they always say, if it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be
Yes,
true.
that's probably exactly right. That's probably exactly right. It probably is too good to be true, but
Yep.
I
So
don't know. I don't know.
so, so what you
Uh,
think about your boy, man?
what's
With his
that?
tariffs. With his tariffs.
Oh, man, I don't pay no attention to him no more. I just,
I heard that.
the stuff that, you change, you waffle from day to day on stuff, and
Yep.
it just, it just got to the point to where I just don't pay. As I say, I go through my same routine. I listen to the headline news in the morning. And when they start off with, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, when they start off with Savannah's Guthrie mom's story, I said, well, there ain't a whole
Yeah.
lot else going on. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to be disrespectful, but yeah, so that's what I do. I said, okay, I'm good. And I just go on and listen to my radio stations or whatever. But
Mhm.
like I say, I don't pay no sense to him no more. I'm just tired of his craziness.
And plus two, and then too, just like with this, they found his tariffs to be illegal. He ain't gonna suffer no consequences. He already on TV in the doggone the little bit that I watched this morning. He always talking about, well, we got other ways of doing this. He just totally disrespect them, the law, you know. And I'm like, he's such an imbecile. I mean, he's sitting up there talking about, well, I'm disappointed in the conservative members of the Supreme Court. You know, they uh, like they're his Supreme Court.
Hmm.
He's disappointed because they voted against what he wanted, and of course, it's always in the other Democratic one. There ain't no uh, political party supposedly on our Supreme Court. Supposedly, I mean, you got political parties that put them on there, but they're not supposed to be partisan. You know, but he's got it's so simple, man, and a little you know what I'm saying. Hell, ain't no need of going into all that no more. He's a joke. He's bringing in so much money, yeah, but you got people over here starving.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing about me. He just things that I hear about, and sometimes it's so outrageous that it makes headline news that he
Mhm.
said or done that I just it's like I say it's a joke. It's a joke at this point, and I just don't know. I'm just hoping he doesn't do something that's totally crazy that's going to get our whole nation in trouble versus just people looking at him and thinking, well, he's just an idiot. We'll move on
Well,
because
he's about to get us there because you keep messing with Iran over there. They done already showed you how they can reach out and touch you.
hmm
You know,
hmm
and he's a classic simpleton. He think because of all America's firepower that he's a tough guy. But there's a reason why them Vietnamese over there was kicking our damn ass. When we were in Vietnam, there's a reason why Russia's getting their ass tore up everywhere they go. People throwing rocks and beating their ass. Look at Ukraine. This country done abandoned them, and Ukraine. I saw the other day where they done taken back some of their land. But what happened to the mighty Russian force? They got all the advantages, but they getting their ass kicked. When it
yeah.
comes down to warfare,
There's many, Afghanistan for both sides.
yeah, yeah,
Just a loss of life and a waste of money and time, for us and the
yep.
Russians. Yeah. I think that's what's bothered me throughout history more than anything else is I always felt that when it came down to war, to me it's just like a fist fight. If we
Hmm.
if we in a fight, I'm gonna do everything I can to take you out in the very first round. I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
I ain't gonna get, as they say, well, if I get you down, I ain't letting you up,
That's
kind of
right.
thing.
That's
And
right.
seemed like in Vietnam and some of the other wars we had, it's been more of a okay, we're gonna come over and we're gonna call a couple of jabs and we're gonna call a couple hooks and we might knock you out, then we're gonna be gone. And if we
Mhm.
can't do that, we'll just stay around and we'll jab and jab and jab and jab for years, spending money, sending troops over, getting killed, and that kind of thing. I've
Mhm.
always said if it's truly a matter of you think whatever this country's doing is jeopardizing our security, whatever, take them out, take
Yep.
them out. But we don't do that. We
No, because
spend time and money and effort
it's all about the
and don't
money.
do that.
It's
And
all
yeah,
about
I know a lot of this about
yeah,
if you take them out in a day, you don't spend $20 billion a month buying new artillery and tanks and
that's right.
planes and all that. I understand. Yeah, I
Mhm.
understand. You're exactly right.
And
There's an
and, uh, and
ulterior motive.
and the big companies are the ones who's benefiting from it because then they got a new widget that's the only thing they did was change the color of the on and off button that they gonna sell to you 3 times more than what they sold the last bunch to you. That's why I had a conversation with a guy and he was talking about, look, we're sending weapons over there and we're doing this and we're doing that. I said, we're sending surplus weapons over there. we send it over there that we ain't been in a conflict that we can get rid of. I said, they're just trying to make room for General Dynamics and all the rest of them to come in with their new. I said,
Oh yeah.
so
Oh yeah.
don't sit here and try to act like. I said, that's a misnomer that y'all got with this propaganda. Y'all think, oh, the United States, we're always doing this and doing that, and we're feeding everybody. I said, yeah, the farmers are. It was typical. You either gonna let it go to waste or you can send it over here, but you're getting something out of it. You're getting bases put in these countries. You're getting something out of it. Don't act like it's all out of the goodness of your heart. And I said, and then the casualties, you know, it's sad to say, but people are living longer. So, well, they had a few wars earlier in our history to get rid of, to thin it out a little bit. We ain't had a conflict like that in a long time. So,
Yeah. And even, Desert Storm and Shield and all that, there wasn't a whole lot of casualties. I mean, as they say,
yeah,
one is more than you want. But if you compare to the previous wars and all, there wasn't a high casualty count in them conflicts at all.
none whatsoever. Them Army dudes that was coming in and Marine dudes that came in to Little Rislington over there, because we was at the contingency hospital there. We barely broke a quarter of the beds that the capability had, because the Republican Guard was turning around running. Them dudes were laughing. They said, hell, they running from us. And the ones that did come in there, well, any major surgeons didn't get no work because the rest of them were like a broken leg or something minor. Well, something I say minor, but it wouldn't be minor to me if I broke my damn leg. But them dudes was like, they were laughing, man. They were saying, man, they lay down their weapons, but this was a manufactured situation to deploy. You spent a bunch of money and for whatever other reasons that they did, you got to shoot off a few weapons here and there. Because if you remember, they had rendered the Air Force for whoever that was in the Middle East. They could even fly in their own airspace. So it wasn't a war. All it was a exercise where they killed a few people.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, man, I was listening to some old guys years ago and talking about their opinion of what goes down with these wars, other than being economical. I mean, because we all know the economics of it. But they're saying, look at these, people are living longer. We really ain't got, other than something inhumane, which war is inhumane, but you got more people on the earth than a lot of times that you can feed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I will not believe that there ain't no cure for cancer. It just ain't economically and yeah, I done forgot my shot of my class there. But anyway, about population control, and
Yeah.
controlling
Yeah.
all of that. So it's all of that plays into it. There was a long time, just like with the Vietnam War. I had a chance to overhear some real thoughts from some white people one time about this basically being a war is a poor man's deal. That's why they got the exclusions of that Trump took part in. If you just an average American, not that no white people went, but for the most part, it was minorities who went to fight these wars.
Mm-hmm.
And
Especially in Vietnam.
yes, sir, yes, sir. I mean, it was so frequent that we saw that beige-looking army car drive through the neighborhood, and everybody's running behind it just to see whose house it was going to see who had lost. Because we all knew each other.
Right. Right.
One of my mother's friends lived down the street from us. Had a son. I'll never forget him. I've never forgot him. I was what? I guess I was maybe about 6, 7 years old when he got drafted. Anyway, he was like a big brother to me. And matter of fact, he had one of those remote control airplanes that ran off of gas, which when they first came out, and I wanted one, so I got me one, and we used to sit back there on the playground, and he showed me how to fly the thing and all that. Then all of a sudden woke up one day, he was gone, but he was telling me I had to go and fight, and that one day I ran behind that, all of us was running behind that car, and they stopped at his mama's house. Boy, I was like,
Mm,
oh, God. Sure enough, she came out of there hollering.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, yeah, that's part of it, and, another thing that we don't have today, which one is once again, it's not a it's a good thing, is, for throughout history, there was always times of disease like the plague and all that would take a lot of people out of the population.
mhm,
We always went through
mhm,
those types of things with the plague and all that kind of stuff that went on that would take, millions of people out of the population, even back
right,
when there wasn't nearly as many living people in the world as it is today. And
yeah,
that's not really much of a issue anymore when you're talking about a single
right,
catastrophic event like that. So yeah, there's got to be other ways of trying to thin the herd out, as they say. And I think a lot of times things like wars, things like that's what they use for that.
yeah, no doubt about it. That's why I put another emphasis in there as the healthcare guru that he put up there snorting cocaine off a damn toilet seat. You
Mhm.
know, I was looking where they said the measles was trending high again. There was one little town, let's say South Carolina or somewhere, where there was a large percentage of the folks that has gotten it. But luckily, I don't say luckily, but for the most part, these are people that have been a part of that no vaccine movement, that they had
Mhm.
never had the vaccine. 'Cause I asked my doctor one time, I said, hey, man, hell, I don't even remember the last time I had a shot for measles and stuff. Is that still potent or what? He's like, well, Rodney, that's a good question. I was like, well, damn, do we need a little touch up there? It's been all these years. We thought that was gone. So it's
Yeah, yeah, and by no means do I say we should be, putting all these foreign bodies in our bodies for
right.
no reason, but, I guess until you can show me some, you know, unequivocal evidence where it's a bad thing for you. I mean, if you can come to me today and say, well, the reason you got diabetes, the reason you got high blood pressure, the reason you got high cholesterol, the reason you get is because you took this vaccine, that vaccine, and the other. I'd say, well, if that's been clinically proven, I could say I can somewhat believe that because I did
Mhm.
take those vaccines and I got those conditions. I said, but it's like I was talking to my doctor about the diabetes things. He said, I don't care what we do, you were probably predestined to be diabetic because it's a genetic factor there too. And you had a
Right.
dad that was diabetic, a grandfather's diabetic. So, he said, you could have done everything right, ate everything they told you to eat, and you probably would have still been a diabetic. It's just because
Mhm.
of that. So yeah, unless you can come to me and show me those kind of things, I guess I look at it more of I'd rather um, be covered now than to find out later on that, oops, we were wrong all this time. We need to get, all these vaccines and things done. Well, it's a little
Mhm.
too late then.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it. I tell people all the time, I don't have a problem with it. One day somebody might find out that all the medicine, I mean, all the vaccines us military people took are killing all of us. I haven't seen that yet. I
Right.
think there were smart enough people in the military, with us having medical units and medical research that somebody at some point would have stood up and said, they've been hiding this study for 30 years. I'm going to let everybody know, kind of thing. I said, I just don't think that's the case. I think they were doing what they thought was best. I think they were
Oh,
doing
yeah.
what they thought was going to protect a group of our Americans who would, guess what, go to protect you.
That's
So
what I was getting ready to say.
why
And
would you go and do something to downgrade the
Yep.
very people that you're looking at to protect you. Does that even make sense?
Exactly. I was just getting ready to say that. You don't want to mess with the population that's going to be up front out there to protect your ass. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
So,
man, they come up with some stuff, man.
yeah. Do you really think a nation would shoot up its war fighters with stuff that would kill them? Don't make a whole lot of sense, does it? Well, we hope you enjoyed this edition of Old Fools Talking Old School. Join us next time. Until then, this is Mickey G. Peace.